Today on Eagle Nation News, we take a look at a new system designed to help Prosper residents avoid getting caught behind trains. Brenda Gibbons has more later in the show.
Julia Bizayon highlights a new program at Prosper High School that is made up of some of the nicest people you may know. How is this program literally saving lives?
And finally, Lauren Womack details Spider-Man's heartbreaking departure from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Could this be the end of a franchise, or is it all hearsay?
Eagle Nation News starts
right now. Good afternoon, Eagle Nation. Today is Wednesday, August 21st. I'm Cameron Silva.
And I'm Christina Folsom. So this year, I normally don't take the path that crosses the train tracks to get to school, but last year, whenever I picked you up, I know sometimes we'd come in contact with a train just rolling on by.
Sometimes we'd pull up and we would literally be waiting there for like 20 or 30 minutes while this train was just stopped, and we couldn't back out because like the cars were all piling up behind us, and it was just a nightmare.
Yeah, so annoying, and sometimes you even had like 5 minutes till class started. But luckily this year it shouldn't be an issue because they are putting cameras on the trains to alert residents when the train will be there, so hopefully they can plan ahead next time they have to cross that path.
Brenda Gibbons reports.
As many of you know, there are often traffic holdups due to the trains that pass through Prosper. The installation of 24-hour cameras in 3 locations surrounding the railroads will be helpful in letting the public know when to expect these delays.
I think it's a good idea because if we'll tell them that the train is coming or alert them, they can plan better and go to another way where it's not train.
These cameras are set up at intersections off Frontier Parkway, First Street, and Prosper Trail.
So the cameras, nothing's recorded, it's just a live feed. They are open to the public. They can get there from the Town of Prosper's webpage, from the fire department webpage. So that way, whether somebody's trying to go somewhere, go to work, they can take a real quick look and make sure that, hey, right now the crossing is open.
The public can access this live stream on prospertx.gov/fire-department. These new cameras will help the community with transportation and traffic from here on out. Reporting for Eagle Nation News, I'm Brenda Gibbons, Prosper.
2 teenagers in California were shocked when what they thought was a family member grabbing a midnight snack was actually a bear that had broken into their house last Saturday. The boys knew something was wrong when the alarm to the refrigerator began to go off for being open for too long. The video clip of the bear was actually caught on their Nest camera. Luckily, help was on the way after a 911 call, and the 2 boys were safe.
Some of you may be familiar with the term ransomware. Unfortunately for Texas, at least 22 cities and local governments are making efforts to uncover who is behind their ransomware attacks. In layman's terms, there are criminals who are encrypting the computers of government officials, and in return for unlocking them, they demand payments such as Bitcoin. The FBI and Homeland Security are working to expose those behind the job. Our chief meteorologist, Brenna Gibbons, joins us in studio now for your Fast Forecast. Brenna, what does this week look like?
What's up, Eagle Nation? I'm Brenna Gibbons with your Fast Forecast. Currently, the temperature is 94 degrees and sunny. And with it being Texas, of course it feels like 101 degrees. We also have a heat advisory in effect until 8 p.m. Moving on to the weekly forecast, the rest of the week will remain in the high 90s, while Monday we're actually going to reach 101 degrees. Every day should be sunny except for this Saturday with partially cloudy weather. Once again, for your Fast Forecast, I'm Brenna Gibbons.
Don't go anywhere because right after this, we find out the fate of one of Marvel's most beloved superheroes.
Stay tuned.
Wait, don't leave your trash on the tables. Yes, the custodians are here to clean the school, but they are not here to pick up after you. So please, throw away your trash.
Marvel fans know Spider-Man's journey from the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy to the newer movie starring Tom Holland. However, tension between Disney and Sony have led to some big changes, whether for the better or for the worst.
Let's send it over to Lauren Womack with your Talent Talk, sponsored by Corbridge Orthodontics.
Everyone's favorite web-slinging Spidey may no longer be a part of the MCU. Last night, Sony announced the loss of Kevin Feige as the producer of future MCU Spider-Man films, which led to the eventual disagreement between Sony and Disney. Originally, the two studios had a 50-50 deal, planning to split profits in half, and both pay half of the expenses needed to make the films. This fell apart after Marvel decided to remove Feige from the MCU. Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man in the franchise, is scheduled for at least 2 more movies. However, his fate and the character's fate are both currently unknown. We'll have more as the story develops, but for now, that's all I have for you today. I'm Lauren Womack.
There's definitely a lot of hope within the Marvel fan base at the moment.
Also filled with hope, none other than Hope Squad, a new organization aimed to prevent suicide.
Julia B. Zion highlights what the group is doing to change lives.
Literally.
Tons of students come to school every single day carrying stress and pressure that nobody knows about. This year, Prosper High School is implementing a program called Hope Squad with the goal of reaching these students.
Long term, what we want is a culture where students feel that their classmates are advocates for them. They can go to them. The Hope Squad is not we don't train a bunch of little counselors. That's not the function of Hope Squad. It's to be out there and be targeting students who they feel they might be sitting alone in the cafeteria during lunch or in the morning, or they look like, if they're typically jovial or happy and they're a little down, they just connect with them and say, hey, is anything going on? Because you never know.
Hope Squad is here with the intention of helping students in need. Whether this be in big ways or small, the goal is to address the physical and mental health effects of stress and pressure among students.
Pressure can affect students just in general. At home, it can make them stress out, it can make them feel alone, and it can make them lack self-confidence. And when this leads to school, you get to school and you feel like you can't tell anyone. We all go through some rough times, but for sure, I just want to make sure that everyone knows that they're not alone and that they can feel that. I don't want it just to be words, I want it to be actions. I want to show people that they're not alone.
For Eagle Nation News, I'm Julia B. Zion. Prosper.
Now we send it over to Maggie Hale with your Game Time Sports Update.
Last year, Maddie Whitmire told Jesse and I that Coach Kaufman schedules a hard preseason to ensure the girls are ready for whatever may come their way in district play. This has continued to prove true and was especially seen last night when the Eagles faced off against Byron Nelson. Both teams were ready to compete starting in the first set, keeping this energy all the way to the fourth. Jacobs, Birmingham, and Jefferson are names that we won't stop hearing about anytime soon. These are top caliber players who continually show out every game. Jacobs was responsible for the first points of the game, which in turn would lead the girls to a first set victory of 28-26. Moving on to the second set, Byron Nelson was off to a shaky start. The Eagles dominated the game with Jefferson and Ford until point 7 when the Eagles and Bobcats were tied. The rest of the set was a constant toss-up for the lead, but in the end, Byron Nelson took the set 25-15. The third set got rough for Prosper as Byron Nelson really hit the ground running. Eagles lost that set 25-10. In a decisive fourth set, we saw an amazing Lady Eagle comeback, but unfortunately it proved to happen too late in the game. Prosper lost that set 25-20. We had an amazing crowd at this game and we're going to need another one on Friday, August 30th, when Prosper takes on Lovejoy at 6:30. If you want to hear more sports like this, be sure to tune in every day for your sports of the week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Now let's take a look at the meeting schedule for the week. Well, that's all the time we have for you today. For Eagle Nation News, I'm Christina Wilson.
And I'm Cameron Silva. Live long